National Go Birding Day is on Saturday, and what perfect way to celebrate our feathery friends than by actually going out and go bird watching. Joining me this morning are the co-founders of the Birda app. We have John and Natalie White. Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. Good. Thank you, Andrea.
Very good. Thanks, Andrea.
Thanks. Well, first off, I have to be honest. When I think of going bird watching, I think of people that are retired. I think of people maybe that are a little bit older. But let's be honest, I feel like a younger generation is really taking bird watching, really going into it and enjoying it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think about 60% of our user base is under the age of 44, if I remember correctly, the latest numbers that we have. There's definitely, definitely on Birda, we're seeing a much
younger demographic.
Yeah.
There's definitely been a shift, I think, maybe since kind of the pandemic almost, of people kind of taking up perhaps what were more traditional hobbies as a way of kind of getting outside, reconnecting with nature, spending time sort of appreciating the environment. And, there's sort of good kind of wholesome hobbies that actually, something like bird watching, it's not very expensive. So, it's a great hobby to have.
And also, too, actually being outdoors in nature and probably doing a little bit of bird watching to some extent is probably even good for our mental health, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And we've had a lot of feedback from the app saying that people are really enjoying the app, sort of prompting them to get out and go bird watching, and then the benefits that they get from doing that are great.
Yeah, I mean, you can set yourself goals. So you can set yourself like the number of kind of hours you'd like to spend out in nature, and we have really cool challenges that you can join. So again, it's a really good way of like motivating you to get outside.
I love that. And the thing too is bird watching is actually fairly easy. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about maybe what equipment you need? I mean, anywhere from the beginner, maybe to the pro that's looking to do some bird watching over the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'd say on the pro level, the list is probably endless. People spend an absolute fortune on cameras with big lenses. But just to get started with bird watching, you can get away with a pair of binoculars and an app to help you identify birds. And then, if you want to take it to the next level and start recording the birds that you've seen and start creating a life list, then an app like Birda is obviously a great way to go. And then as you get into the hobby, you can probably, I'm just looking at my bird book collection, probably about 5 or 6 different bird books, which are nice to have like a paper version of something that quite often go into a lot more detail that you might find in an app.
But yeah, I mean, with Birda, we've kind of built in a reference guide. So the idea is that obviously identification is one of the trickiest parts of bird watching, right? So it's like once you've spotted something, now you need to know what it is, if you're a beginner particularly. So the idea is that within the app, you can basically get all of that information. So, you can see what you're looking at, you can look at reference images. There's all sorts of other images of the same bird that people have logged on the app. So like it's really helpful as a kind of a newbie bird watcher.
So what was the reason behind you guys actually starting the app, and maybe go a little bit more into detail about how exactly it works, just how easy it is to put on your phone and kind of go from there?
Yeah, well, Birda came about with actually a visit to a nature reserve in South Africa. Nat and I were driving around and we found ourselves at a viewpoint overlooking the Mkuzi River in Shishlui on Mfulezi Game Reserve, and we just had our binos out and were scanning the river and having a look, and next thing out of nowhere a leopard popped up, and we watched this leopard walk all the way along the river and then disappear into some bushes. And it's for people who have seen stuff like that before, it's like a really, really exciting experience, and it made us want to basically get out and tell our family and friends who were in the reserve with us. And it was at that point that we thought, there would be a nice way to use technology to share these really special moments that people have with wildlife and nature. And it basically, built up from that point to a birdwatching app.
Yeah, and it's really kind of the premise behind Birda is about those connections. So the connections not only with people and the community that we've built, but also that connection that you have to nature and to our wild places. And, you know, with everything that's going on with the climate crisis and all the rest of it, we know how important it is for people to have these connections. And then the idea is that in having them, you'll want to kind of fight to kind of protect what's happening, you know, in our natural world. So that was kind of the idea behind it. But in terms of the app itself, it's super easy. You can download it for free. You basically create an account, and then all you need to do is go out and log a bird. And once you've logged a bird, that information then feeds into a whole lot of other stuff within the app. You can join a challenge, you can earn badges, and then all the sightings that you basically record using Birder are then going to conservation researchers as well. So it's kind of, that information is then feeding back into doing good.
Yeah, so it's essentially a citizen science project as much as it is a tool for people to enjoy bird watching and to get up outside. And
we've got a really friendly, welcoming community, which is great as well.
Oh, I think that's absolutely wonderful. So really quick, what website too can people go to learn a little bit more from here?
If people just go to birder.org or just go to the App Store or Play Store and search for Birder.